So when you're doing the brushes, as the downward motion, you want to make sure you're only going forward. Never go back and forth, because that just roughs up the bristles. So only down, okay? For the brushes, when it comes to the whisks, make sure you're really getting the whisks clean. Put that brush in, that you're rotating it in your hand, that the bristles get through to the inside and everywhere. This one's clean. You hang them. For the bowls, this one's just a circle bowl, so it does do a good job of just getting around with the brush. So just cleaning it, making sure you're getting the insides, the outsides are good. Matrix bowls. And for lots of the other ones, they have that bar. That bar down in the middle, what happens is color gets stuck in those, as well as over here in the creases of these corners, okay? So you're gonna see I'm really gonna make sure I'm putting the brush inside every corner. You're really cleaning that out. Outside as well, okay? So I want to be very thorough with every corner because there are so many. Once I've rinsed it, I'm going to check it and I'm going to look. And right now I can see there's no color in here or on that side. But with lightener definitely needs a little bit more rinsing. Oh, but look, right there, see? There's some color. So I want to make sure I'm really checking all the corners, okay? With the measuring cup, same thing, making sure we're circling and cleaning inside and outside. For the bottles, the big thing with the bottles is you're going to have lots of color around the whole bottle. The brushes don't get in as well. Some of them can, but one of the easiest ways is you're going to take alcohol, put in about 5 pumps. You're going to take the top, put the top on, and although there's only a little bit in here, that's all, and this one's not dirty so you can't see, but even if there's tons of color, that little bit can really clean the whole thing. You're going to just put your finger on top, and wherever I'm shaking, this bottom is where the color is really going to get cleaned off, and I'm going to rotate it and do the same thing all the way around, so I can really make sure that friction of the bottom of the bottle and the alcohol is cleaning it off. I'm then going to put in a little bit of water, okay? And you can also put in, a lot of times we put alcohol and salt, so you can do that as well. Now I have a little bit more water in there. I'm going to go through and I'm going to really shake it again, rotating it so it can really clean every side. I want to make sure I squeeze the bottle really well, because this is also making sure that we're cleaning that nozzle. We do not want to get color in left in there, so when we go to clean the little mascara brushes, you can use that to clean, making sure it's coming out the other side, and then rinse. So here is our color room. We have a lot of different lines that we work with. We have Redken's Fusion here, the Cover Fusion, regular Fusion. Here we have shades. Here we have Color Sync Matrix, which is a demi-permanent. And then we have our Milkshake 9 Minute. We have some extra ones, gels and stuff like that here. This is where we put a lot of our back stock. And we also have our Milkshake glosses, which are also toners. Up top we have our Pulp Riot, all of our pop colors. When mixing, we really want to make sure that we are taking the tubes from the front. So the tubes in the front are always going to be the ones that we've opened. In the back is where we'll be restocking. We want to make sure we're always pulling from the bottom, not from the top. When we pull from the bottom, this way we ensure that when we're going to restock, because again, on the days shipments coming in, we want to make sure that it's easier for you guys to get everything put away, as I just ruined that. So we want to make sure you're pulling from the bottom. Sorry. So that way it's easier for you guys to then come in and stock from the top, okay? So ensure that you're always pulling from this front. If this front is empty, you go from the bottom, okay? With shades also, you want to make sure that we're always pulling from the front. The big thing about color is once you're done mixing, you really want to make sure that you put it back, because if you don't put it back and you leave it on the counter, then someone else goes to look for that open color and they see that nothing's there, so then they will then go and pull another one from the back, which we want to avoid for inventory. Then we have too many tubes open and it's a waste. The other thing then is all our developers and processing solutions are right here. If you run out of anything up top, in both cabinets underneath, we have the restock. So depending if we have Redken, milkshakes, or on the other side, this cabinet, we would have the Matrix and shades at the bottom, okay? This is where we also keep our bowls and our brushes, or our bowls and our bottles. Brushes are kept into the drawers. So we have some brushes in here, but we keep a lot of them separate in these little flower pots. The black brushes are for color only single processes. The pink and the purple are for bleach. It also has a little label on the bins just to help remind you guys, but we want to make sure we keep it separate because as a great example, and this is where the washing comes in place, this was washed and now we can all see this is not the best job. So we want to make sure someone doesn't grab this and put it into single process. Again, should be clean, but if it's into bleach, this isn't as much of an issue. Okay, so when we go to mix, depending on what we're grabbing, you'll grab a bottle or you'll grab a bowl and make sure that you put it in. Shades will be mixed more likely in a bottle. It is a thinner, runnier consistency, so the bottle application is much better, as well as the milkshake gloss. There are two different developers. There is the Shades processing solution that's just for a thinner application. If you do want to use it in a bowl, we have gloss to gel. Gloss to gel is going to make it a little bit thicker, which is nice. So that way, if you do want to put it in a bowl and brush application, you can do that, okay? The lighteners are all on the side here, and these are labeled. We put the lighteners in here so that way we can make sure that we don't have a bunch of different bags. It's easier, it's cleaner. You're just gonna pop it open. We have scoops inside. Make sure you're closing that, okay? Once you have it, depending on what you're mixing, you're gonna put your bowl onto the scale, okay? I'm gonna turn on the scale and I'm gonna make sure that it's zeroed out. Let's say if it was off and then, let's say it's 0, I started it, then I put it on, it's showing that there's weight. What I wanna do is just clear it. So we always wanna make sure that once the bowl is on, this is starting cleared. From there, then we will then put in our product, measure it out, and go from there. Same thing with the bottles.